What's up, y'all? Do y'all think I'm stupid? Lots of people think that wisdom comes only with age, as in it's like a set increase in your stat points every time you grow older. But there's a lot of foolish old people and a lot of wise young people. It's far beyond age, and while I'm not the professional wisdom meister or whatever, I definitely have an opinion on it. I mean, I've been told I'm wise a lot. Growing up especially, like I'm wise beyond my years, I'm an old soul, all those goofy terms. It really started when I was a kid and my dad used to read me Bible stories before going to bed. I don't think I've ever said it in a video, but my two favorite people in the Bible are Samson and Solomon, two S's. I used to get them confused a lot. You got the strongest man ever and the smartest man ever. Or wisest man ever, I guess you could say. Now, they both fumbled the bag immensely because they were chasing after women, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I was a kid and my dad told me about, or not even my dad. My dad told me about Samson. My grandma told me about Solomon. The story of him pretending he was going to cut the baby in half and all that blah, blah, blah. You know, y'all know the story. Bruh, you don't know? So Solomon was just made king and God was like, hey bro, what do you need, G? And he was like, I want to be wise. And God was like, W request. You could have asked for anything. You could have asked for money. You could have asked for me to slime out the ops. You could have asked for like riches and wealth. But you asked for wisdom so that you can serve me better. And because of that, I'm giving you everything I just said right now. Then it switches over to Solomon chilling in the king room, being a king as a king does. Kings know. And two women came in. And to make a long story short, basically, they both were women who had kids, and one of them rolled over on her baby in her sleep and killed it. So the grieving mother took her dead baby, swapped it out with the living baby, like underneath the other mother, and slept with the living baby to try and flip the script. And they were both like, the living baby's mine, the dead baby's hers. And obviously, this is in the Old Testament. Ain't no cameras, ain't no nothing. It's just those two, no other witnesses. So it's kind of hard to decide. You know, you don't really know what to say. So Solomon, with his giant giga brain, I think he was a teenager at the time too, I'm not sure. But his giant giga brain was like, all right, bruh, I got it. We're just gonna cut the baby in half. Now both of you get a piece. Easy peasy. Everybody's like, bro, you know, and little did everyone know he was thinking ahead of time. The grieving mother, who was like, well, my baby died, so hers should die too. So she's like, yeah, that seems fair. And the real mother is obviously like, bruh, just give her the baby. Don't kill my baby. Just give her the baby. And then Solomon was like, yeah, I got you, bruh. Give her the living baby. We know the one who was okay with the baby getting cut in half is the one whose baby died. And everybody was like, dang, that's so crazy. So young Slime was hearing his grandma tell him all this, and he was like, wow, wisdom is cool. Wisdom is a really important facet of life. I want to be wise. And that became a big thing. And it's funny because that's not something I chose. That's like a blessing. Just because of that random story, young Slime decided that he was going to be as wise as possible, and I'm reaping those benefits today. So anytime anything happened, my first instinct was to go to like, okay, what went wrong? What can I learn from this? All that stuff. I was always trying to be introspective. I'd spend like literal hours in my room listening to music, thinking on things. Literally just, I was a person who thinks all the time. Has nothing to think about except thoughts. Like that was me, because I didn't do anything. All I did was think. And stuff would happen. I've told you guys before, as much as I love the life I've lived, it was not the easiest. So things like that would happen. I'd sit down, I'd think about it, I'd gather knowledge, I'd try and, you know, grow up, whatever. And boom, shakalaka. Like, there you go. That's how wisdom is formed. I think that a lot of the time people think that only or wisdom only comes with age is because of the fact that it's like there is a set amount of wisdom that you get over time. Like there's an average, because every time something happens to you, whether you want to or not, you're learning something. most of the time. Like, there's people who are oblivious, people who are hard-headed, like, you know, whatever. But most of the time you're learning something. So that's why wisdom just by default comes with age, because the older you get, the more things happen to you, the more you're like, oh, okay, that's how this works, that's how that works. The calmer you get, as a teenager, you've got those hormones. Even as a young adult, you're coming off those hormones into maturity, and you're still like developing your frontal lobe. Like, all that stuff happens. You're not necessarily absorbing all the information you've been given. So you're just getting the lessons that are being forced into your brain. You're not picking up extra lessons. You're not taking extra credit. Let's say, like, to go back to the video game lesson, even though there's a truck outside driving and it's making me really mad because why are you driving so loudly right next? It's the same thing as like levels in a video game, or like an RPG, I guess I'd say. If you just do the story missions, the main missions with an occasional side quest, you're gonna be the like basic level, if not under leveled, compared to somebody who grinds all the side missions, does everything they can to maximize their level. Now, this can go for more than wisdom. I'm kind of realizing now, but you know, whatever. Like, we're talking about wisdom here, bro. This is the wisdom yap. Think of that as wisdom. When things happen in your life, you know, are you just kind of like, oh, like, whatever, that sucked? Or are you picking up the pieces? Are you thinking like, what happened? Well, how did I feel? Why did I feel that way? What happened to make me feel that way? Like, you can even gain wisdom from other people. Like, okay, not like necessarily just advice, which is also true, but through seeing them fail. You know, some people fail so that you don't have to. I like saying that for my brothers. I tripped and fell so they know where not to step. They definitely don't listen all the time, but I'd like to think that I've helped them a couple times. One piece of wisdom that I remember gathering when I was in high school is, let's see, I think at this time I was a freshman, maybe a sophomore. Yeah, because I was still stupid. Anyways, I think the status of Harley Quinn hadn't changed yet. Like, she was still like the Joker's obsessive girlfriend. And a lot of the time, I knew guys that were like, oh, I want a crazy girl. I want a crazy girl. I want me a Harley Quinn, bro. I want me whatever. First of all, twin, if you say that, no, you don't. No, you don't. I have a supplementary story for that if I remember it. No, you don't. Okay? Listen. First, like, remember what I just said? Advice from other people can be wisdom. No, you don't. I started thinking about that. I started thinking about, okay, why is this a thing that guys say all the time? Because it still happens today. People just don't really use Harley Quinn as an example because she's like her own character now. But yeah, why was that? Why was it a thing? So I get to thinking in my little like 14, 15-year-old brain, get to racking it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I know why. Well, my theory at the time, and I guess really still is, was that a lot of the time guys are not confident in the unconditional affection of those around them because they don't really receive it that often, especially if you don't have like a healthy like relationship with your family or anything like that, which unfortunately is pretty common with just everyone. Like, you're not going to believe in unconditional love. And as a guy, you're probably, I'm speaking for other people, I'm definitely going to ask for affirmation as much as I need it. But you're probably going to be like, I'm too tough to ask for like affirmation. Like, I don't want to seem like a punk. I don't want to be affirmed, whatever. Or you might be so separated from your emotions that you don't realize that that's what you need. But a crazy woman who's slashing your tires when you talk to another girl or punching you in the stomach when you mention another woman's name, you're like, oh, she loves me. Which is a crazy thing to say, but you're like, oh, she loves me. You're thinking like, oh, because she's doing all this stuff because she likes me. A crazy obsessive girl would be someone who's constantly like saying they love you and showering you with affection and gifts, and also when it gets angry whenever you do something that like challenges that affection, therefore reaffirming her affection for you, if that makes sense. I'm not a psychologist or a scientist at all, but that's just the thought that I came up with at like 15, and I was like, dang, that's low-key like solid. I think that's a good theory. I told it to guys. Sometimes they listened, sometimes they didn't. I wasn't really friends with guys. Even to this day, I think I'm friends with like the ratio of girls to guys I'm friends with is like 80-20 girls to guys. But hey, I mean, it also applies to like women too, because I know a lot of women who will go for the same route, like, oh, I want me in a crazy guy or a jealous guy. I actually was friends with one of those girls back in high school, and I mean, she never listened to me, but I definitely tried to tell her, and she didn't listen, and I think she definitely paid the consequences for that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sidetracked. This is about wisdom. Anyways, yes, wisdom. That's the caliber of wisdom we're talking about. Now, that wasn't like self-glaze or anything. I'm not trying to say like that was incredible, like a million people have probably thought about that, right? But I'm just saying, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, oh, if it's raining outside, use your umbrella, which is a level of wisdom. But I'm saying that you can gain so much from the actions of other people, the actions of yourself, things that happen around you. You don't have to suffer for no reason. Everyone's going to suffer. That's how God made this earth. We're all going to suffer through things, and that's okay. A lot of the times it can teach us things, we can get through it, and we grow because of it and become better people. The determining factor is how much do you grow? Do you grow the bare minimum? Do you only get the base XP required, or do you do those bonus objectives and get more XP? Ooh-wee. Yeah. The yap is on. The yap spout has turned on, and it cannot be turned off. I got so much to say, bruh. Y'all gonna regret ever liking and supporting those yap videos, bruh. I got a lot to say. Let me speak to the people, bruh. I'm actually starving like Marvin. I don't think I'll make this video much longer. I don't know how long the other ones were. I think they were about 13 minutes. I'm about 15 minutes in. Considering the bloopers and outtakes, I'd say we're about like 11, 12 minutes in. I'm starving like Marvin. Got some homemade tortillas ready that I'm gonna throw some bacon and eggs in. Make some breakfast like tacos or burritos. I think like street tacos because they're really small. But I also want to look at the new Marvel Rivals team-ups, which I didn't forget about, the Marvel Rivals stuff. I just want to play them with my little brother, or play the game with my little brother like I always do. So I just want to wait for the comp to reset so I can try and grind back up to Bros Rank. But yeah, I think that's about it. I can't think of much else. I cleaned my room today. Or not really cleaned it, but like organized it. I feel a lot better. I might record another episode. I just recorded Prey earlier. I might throw in a Mario episode today too, just to try and make sure I can edit the rest of the week because it's already Tuesday. But I don't know. Yeah, the first outro was low-key fire. Let me look at that again. That might have to be what I say from now on in these Yap videos. You're loved. Stay goated. Please take care of yourself and remember that you matter. That was good, right? That was good. I think that was pretty fire. Real quick, as for the supplementary story, I have a lot of stories about this girl that I met in high school who I'm pretty sure liked me. I don't know. She at least was fond of me. I mean, like, I don't know. She had garnered the nickname Crazy Girl from some people, and she literally would tell me like, oh, I'm off my meds. I was hanging out with her, this girl that I actually liked, who still was not good for me at all. Remember how I said I like Samson and Solomon? Guilty. And we were just sitting there at this Saturday morning class we were taking for like a college preparation program. I mentioned it in one of the Yap videos. And I must have said something she didn't like. It was not anything crazy. It was not an insult. It was not a nothing. I think I was trying to compliment her and called her strong or something. And I think she took that as like an insult, like I was calling her masculine. So she socked me in my stomach. Like, you thought that example from earlier was a joke? No, she literally full force, like punched. I don't want to exaggerate. I was going to say like she did the whole leverage, turned her body with it. Like, no, we're not going to do all that. I don't think she did all that, but she definitely punched me in my stomach full force with at least all the energy her shoulder down could muster. I'm a sturdy dude. She was like 5'1", maybe 5'3". I was probably at that time 6 foot, maybe 5'11", and it didn't matter, bruh. She literally hit me with the black flash to the gut. It was insane. And she like did that and then stomped away, and then was just like, all of a sudden I was just supposed to be cool with it. I don't know. Dude, we don't need to talk about it anymore. I hope she's doing better now. I don't know ill will or anything, but I literally, like, when I'm telling you, like, I have more stories about our friendship. You just don't want somebody who's mentally unstable. Now, you can have someone who just showers you with affection constantly without the mental illness. Oh yes sir, that sounds amazing. I'd love that. But let's keep the whole crazy aspect, let's keep that away. Like, let's not ask for that, let's not request that. Anyways, this is post outro stuff. Why are you still listening? Okay, bye.